all you gotta do, okay? And it would be the coaching person who is taking the hand and placing it like on their leg or something, or in their visual space, letting them finish their thought, and then taking over. That's all that has to happen. Okay.
Okay, so where was I?
So that doesn't matter.
So there's a lot of different stories related to this. And this is a story I remember from when I was young. You know, so he was a teenager. At that time, I'm thinking this was probably 1955, so so my mom told me this story about Emmett Till. And that situation happened when she was about 15. So there's a lot of different stories with similar situation, or regarding Emmett Till. I don't know, which is the actual story, but this is what my mom had told me. So the kids went to the store to buy candy or whatever, and they went in, and the man who worked there So Emmett Till challenged his friends to go in and start flirting with this woman. And this was forbidden because of the Jim Crow laws. And at that time, Emmett Till didn't know anything about the Jim Crow laws.
What was forbidden?
Black people flirting with white people was forbidden. So they went in to buy candy.
And so Emmett went into the store to buy candy, and what did he say? To who?
Okay. So Emmett Till, when he went into the store, he said, "Hey, baby," when he walked in to the woman who worked there, and everybody was so shocked. People that were there, they all freaked out. Emmett Till, he became really scared. He took off. He didn't know what to do. So one of the boys, I'm not really sure which boy, but he told, if it was the uncle or the grandfather, but he told the uncle or the grandfather what happened, and they just kind of, brushed it off, told him, just keep cool, don't talk about it, it's not anything we want to, have people know. He went back to the store.
No, and now the topic is now back to the owner, back to the store. The lady at the store who Emmett Till had spoken to told her husband what happened.
So the woman at the store, her husband found out what had happened. Okay, not because his wife had told him, but somebody else had told him. He found out that this is what had happened. And his wife hadn't said a word about it. Again, there's different stories. Not everything is clear. Some say the wife told, some say somebody else told. I don't know who told the husband. And again, this is what my mom told me, so. had these discussions, and at 2 in the morning, they drove over to the grandfather's house and pounded on the door.
Whose grandfather's house?
To Emmett Till's grandfather's house, pounded on the door. He opened the door and he's like, didn't know what was going on. And so he asked for the store owner asked for Emmett Till, and the grandfather said, yeah, he's here, why? He said, I want to talk to him. So the grandfather invited him in. The store owner charged in and was looking for Emmett, finally found him and said, you're coming with us. So Emmett got dressed, got in the car, and off they went. So the next day, the grandfather, hadn't heard anything. The grandfather realized that, he Emmett hadn't been brought home yet. He thought the two men were going to talk to him and bring him back, so he called the police. And he reported Emmett Till missing. And so the police did a lot of questioning around the town, a lot of white people. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Hold on. The grandfather told the police the two men's names and said, we had discussed, the two men who had taken Emmett Till told him that they had already brought him back home. So they knew something happened. 2 days later, they found Emmett Till's body. It's not clear exactly how he was killed. I'm sure it was an awful situation. So I just want to let you all know that
So they know what happened to him. So it's horrific what happened. So you said it's unclear what happened to him, but no, I think you saw this. One of her this as being unclear. They know what happened. They know how he died, right? It's a horrific scene how he died, and if you want to Google it, you can. You can see pictures of what happened to him. So there's something in there that you thought was an unclear picture of what happened, but it was clear. It's clear how he died, and it's horrific. So go back. So yeah, go back to that. Say one again.
So if you all want to know, more in depth of what happened and see some pictures, I'm warning you, they're horrific. They're not nice pictures to look at. This obviously could be very upsetting. So I told my old roommate, she was a deaf woman, I told her what happened, and we looked in Jet magazine. Do you know that magazine? It's a black magazine, a magazine for black people. So I showed it to my roommate and she read it and could not believe it. She became very upset and started yelling and just was so upset at what happened to this young boy, and I understand. So I'm warning you, it's an upsetting story.
Can't tell us what happened. Very long story.
It's a very long story. You really want to know? I'm shocked. I'm seriously shocked you two don't know that story. Okay, so what happened is, from my understanding, two men took Emmett. They drove him out to this field, and to a barn. So there was an okay, so it was were two men, and then there was this other white man who had come with him.
So they went into the barn. So the two men took him into the barn, and it wasn't just these two men. There were several white men there waiting.
So there, when Emmett went into the barn, there were several white men in there waiting. So they decided they were going to teach this boy a lesson, and they beat him up. And they notice, this little black boy was hiding and watching and just listening to everything, watching what was going on, and he was screaming. So apparently some other black guy was walking past the barn and heard what was going on and found a way to kind of come in and see what was going on. They didn't know he was there, but there was a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, and some person walked by and heard what was going on and witnessed some of this. And what happened was then all the white men took turns beating him up, and they actually pulled out his eyes. They cut off his ears.
I didn't realize it was going to be that graphic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I warned you.
Oh,
It was horrific.
I didn't realize it was going to be that graphic.
It's okay. It's fine. I know it's very upsetting. I will stop there, and you all can read it if you want. It's up to you. That is the whole reason why how the civil rights movement was put into action, because of this event. Because he was a leader.
And a word that you can use right there is the catalyst. So this was the catalyst.
The what?
Oh,
The
catalyst.
catalyst of the whole civil rights movement. Yep.
The Board of Education.
Oh, so it was ours. This is the first. So, how is this? So this is actually related to the famous case of Brown versus Board of Education, because black people felt that there were all these happenings of people being oppressed, and they were fed up with it. They were done. So I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to go on to some other things. Okay? Are you okay back there, Christine?
You look mean.
In November of 1955, there was a restaurant. It was near a train station or a train track. It was in the state of Kansas, and near Oklahoma. Also in Mississippi, in Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. This whole area of states had segregation.
15,000.
Sorry. Sorry, I don't want time right now. So let's switch really quick.